Hello, I'm John Carr with the City of Palo Alto, Building Inspector Specialist specializing in green building. On this video today, we'll be talking about residential inspection procedures and expectations. Our goal is to achieve compliance on our first visit. Residential inspection procedures and expectations. In this video, part 1, we will cover Cal Green mandatory measures. In part 2, we'll review Tier 1 and Tier 2. See the green building verification forms for triggers and scoping in other videos within this series. Now, part 1 of our Cal Green mandatory. If you want to see Tier 1 or Tier 2, jump to part 2. Our procedures for residential inspections. These are projects that are subject to mandatory measures only. Green building pre-construction meeting, IVR code 111. This would be conducted by a City of Palo Alto building inspector. At that meeting, we will review the GB1 sheet on site using our inspection guidelines. Our incremental verification, IVR 112 inspection, will be conducted by a City of Palo Alto building inspector. We will review required procedures on site using our inspection guidelines. And finally, our green building final inspection, IVR 974, conducted by City of Palo Alto building inspector. We'll review supporting documentation and on-site checks using our inspection guidelines. Pre-construction, IVR 111, pre-construction meeting agenda. Communicate and confirm construction phase requirements. We will review our green building inspection checklist, discuss expectations and submittals, review resources, sign our permit card, set a tentative date for our incremental meeting inspection. Now we're going to be going over the GB1 mandatory checklist. Things that I'll be looking for would be that the Y in the N column all have X's in them. Additionally, I'll be looking for the owner's signature in the acknowledgement box. I'll be looking additionally at some of the tougher measures to meet. The incremental inspection, IVR 112. This inspection must take place at the time of our all trades inspection. Green building incremental verification inspection procedures. 1. The GB1 inspector shall review the GB1 sheet in the approved permit plan set. Number 2. Contractor submittal preparation, Part 1. Contractor shall prepare and deliver the submittals as listed under the green building incremental verification, contractor submittals. Number 3. Special inspector submittal inspection, Part 1. Request and review submittals or submittal documentation as listed for green building incremental verification, Part 1 submittals. This activity may be performed remotely. Number 4. Special inspector site inspection, Part 2. Review green building inspection checklist and inspect all items as listed green building incremental verification, Part 2, on-site inspection. Number 5, city inspector site inspection. Upon completion of the green building incremental verification, the contractor shall schedule a City of Palo Alto green building incremental verification with the building department. During this inspection, the contractor and special inspector shall review the green building incremental verification measures to the building inspector assigned to the project. Preparing for the green building final, we'll be reviewing the GB1 form plus the green building inspections, submittals, and guidelines, as well as the binder. This is a typical binder that I expect to see at the green building final inspection. In this binder, you'll have our compliance documents as well as tabs that have all been indicated for the measures on our GB1 forms. In addition to that, I'll be looking for a flash drive. All of that pertinent information that was in that green building binder needs to be put on this flash drive. Green Building Final, IVR 974, GB1 compliance documentation. Complete a 3-ring binder and flash drive containing compliance documentation for all items marked yes on the GB1. Compliance documentation examples include spec sheets, pictures, cut sheets, statements of compliance, air balance compliance reports. Common pitfalls: improperly filled out GB1s. The summary and reference columns should all be populated. The summary column shows compliance. The reference column is where the item location is located in the plan set. Part 2, Tier 1 and Tier 2. Procedures, residential inspections for projects subject to CalGreen Tier 1 or Tier 2 measures. CalGreen Pre-Construction Meeting, IVR Code 111, conducted by the Green Building Special Inspector with a City of Palo Alto Building Inspector as oversight. Review GB1 sheet with CalGreen and inspection guidelines. Incremental verification, IVR 112, conducted by the Green Building Special Inspector with the City of Palo Alto Building Inspector as oversight. Review of required procedures on site using inspection guidelines. Green Building Final Inspection, IVR 974, conducted by the Green Building Special Inspector with the City of Palo Alto Building Inspector oversight. Review of supporting documentation plus on-site checks using inspection guidelines. Pre-construction, IVR 111, pre-construction meeting agenda. Communicate and conform construction phase requirements. Review green building inspection checklist. Discuss expectations and submittals. Review resources. Sign the permit card. Set tentative date for incremental meeting. This meeting is to be led by the Green Building Special Inspector. Now we're going to go over the GB1 Tier 1. What I'll be looking for here is that the Y and the N columns are all properly filled out. I'll also be looking for the owner's signatures and acknowledgments. In addition to that, we'll be going over the local adoptive ordinances. The measures that are marked off in the Y column, I will review them with you in our guidelines book. Similar to Tier 1, this is our GB1 Tier 2. Here again, I'll be looking at the form to see that it's properly filled out in both the Y and the N columns. Again, the owner acknowledgments, and we'll go over the local adoptive ordinances. The measures that are marked off in the Y column, we will review in the Green Building Energy Guidelines handout. Incremental inspection, IVR 112. This inspection must take place at the time of the all trades. Green Building Incremental Verification Inspection Procedures. 1. The GB1. Inspector shall review the GB1 sheet in the approved permit plan set. 2. Contractor submittal preparation, Part 1. Contractor shall prepare and deliver the submittals as listed under Green Building Incremental Verification, Contractor Submittals. 3. Special Inspector Submittal Inspection, Part 1. Request and review submittals or supplemental documentation as listed for Green Building Incremental Verification, Part 1 submittals. This activity may be performed remotely. 4. Special Inspector Site Inspection, Part 2. Review Green Building Inspection Checklist and inspect all items listed as Green Building Incremental Verification, Part 2, On-Site Inspection. Number 5. City Inspector Site Inspection. Upon completion of the green building incremental verification, the contractor shall schedule a CPA green building incremental verification with the building department. During this inspection, the contractor and special inspector shall review the green building incremental verification measures to the building inspector assigned to the project. And 6, we'll review the recycled content value spreadsheet. This meeting is to be led by the green building special inspector. Preparing for the green building final. We'll review the GB1 form, the green building inspection submittals and guidelines, as well as the binder. Green building final IVR 974. GB1 compliance documentation. Complete a 3-ring binder and flash drive containing compliance documentation for all items marked yes on the GB1. Compliance documentation examples include spec sheets, pictures, cut sheets, statements of compliance, and air balance compliance reports. This meeting is to be led by the Green Building Special Inspector. Deliverables for Tier 1 and Tier 2 are a 3-ring binder with all compliance documentation, as well as a flash drive containing all the information in the binder. Common pitfalls are improperly filled out GB1s. The summary and reference columns should all be populated. The summary columns show compliance. The reference column is where the item location is located in the plan set. This concludes green building inspections and introductions compliance training, residential green building, Cal Green mandatory inspections and tiers.